Class to lesson 3-1. Today's goal is strong mathematicians can divide with remainders and use multiplication patterns to divide with zeros. This is a 2-day lesson, so we'll be working over the course of obviously 2 days. So you have your paper, your pencil, your notebook, put today's date, the lesson number down, and let's get started. So since we're at the start of a new unit, we've got some new vocabulary words to help us out. So the first word you do is pause the video and then write these words down and the definitions, and then we'll have a picture to help you make sense of these words that we can use as well. So the divisor is the number you divide by in division. So the divisor is the number you divide by in division. The quotient is the answer of a division problem. The dividend is the number that is divided in division, and the remainder is the number left over after dividing two numbers that are not evenly divisible. So those are the notes right now. Those are the wording part. And they'll take a picture of what a visual looks like of an actual division problem and use these words to see where they actually are in the division problem. So you can add this to your example as well, because I like to see things in there. So you notice the divisor is that number 3 right there. The quotient, which is the answer to the problem, is up above, which would be the 4 in this problem. The dividend is the number that's being divided, which is that 14 right now. And then the remainder is what's left over from the parts that are not equal. So we have a remainder of 2. So you can pause this video right now and write down this drawing to help you understand the vocabulary words in action as we refer to these parts as we go throughout this unit. And one last thing that's really important with division, there we go. The remainder must be less than the divisor. If it is not, increase the quotient. So there's some more vocabulary words, right? So if the remainder, so here we have a remainder of, so 5 can go into 23 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15, it's left with 8. But notice 8 is greater than 5. So we have to increase the quotient, which means here's our quotient. We need to increase that part. So 3 is not big enough. We actually take another group from this 8 if we're dividing by 5. So what does that mean? If we turn this 3 into a 4, 4 times 5 is 20. 23 minus 20 is 3. 3 is less than 5. So therefore, this remainder would work. So you pause your notes right now. You'll pause the video right now. Put these into your notes to help you out with some key terminology and strategies that we have to use when we divide. So now we're going to have some pockets too to practice some of our examples. So if I have the 7 divided by 50, I have to think, what can 7 go to that's close to 50 without going over like my multiplication thing? So if I go 7 times 5 is 35, 7 times 6 is 42, 7 times 7 is 49, 7 times 8 is 56. Well, that's too many. So I'm going to go with an answer of 7. Now I take 7 times 7. Well, I said when I was doing my counting was 49. I subtract, I get 1. Is 1 less than 7? The answer is yes. I'll put a smiley face for yes, which means now I have the remainder of 1. I can't just leave it here and move on. I have to make sure I write it up here as a remainder of 1 so people know what's going on in the problem. The next one, can 6 go to 27? So I always like to start as 5 is kind of like that middle number. So I know 6 times 5 is 30, but that would be too much. So it's going to be less than 5. So what about 6 times 4? All right, 6 times 4 is 24. Yep, I'm going to go with 4 here. 6 times 4 is 24. I'm going to subtract. I'm left with 3. Is 3 less than 6? Yes, it is. I put a smiley face. And therefore, I can put the remainder of 3. Remember to always put my remainder up on top in my answer line, because that's part of the answer. And last one, 8 times 43. So 8 goes in, let's see, 8 times 5. Okay, because 5 is the middle number always. 8 times 5 is 40. Well, that's pretty close to 43, so I'm going to go with 8 times 5 here. 8 times 5 is 40. I'm going to subtract, get 3. Is 3 less than 8? You betcha. Which means my remainder is 3. So you can pause that video right now and write down this information, these examples to help you out as we go through your work and your practice problems. Now you have box 3. Now it's your turn. So the part you're going to write down. You show me the work of you solving these 3 problems. 48 divided by 9, 30 divided by 4, and 32 divided by 5. So you can pause the video right now and do your best work. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to jot those down or share those out. If you have any strategies that you use to help you, make sure you include them also in box 4. So thank you again for another great lesson.